A few months ago, we made a video comparing what I think are the best value Chinese carbon road bike wheels against the best that the West has to offer. Under it, we had all kinds of comments of you guys arguing the toss about my decision making and also urging us to try out a set of Farsports wheels. Well, we listened, and for the past few months, I've been using a set of these top of the range Evo5 wheels. So, are they any good? Are they the best wheels to currently be coming out of China? And are they better than my current all-time favourite wheels, the Roval Rapide CLXs? This is road.cc. Let's get into it. If you watched our previous video, then you'll know that when it comes to value for money, then Asian options can be seriously competitive. They don't always have quite the same level of post-purchase care, but in my mind, as long as you buy from a reputable brand, then there's no question over the quality or performance of these direct-to-consumer wheel sets. It is, after all, very often the same factories producing the wheels as the established brands that we've come to know and love over the last few decades. Now, one of the brands with one of the best reputations is Farsports, and in fact, they were one of the first Chinese brands to bring direct-to-consumer wheels to the West back in 2007. Like many of these wheel brands, they also make some OEM wheels for other brands, and that means that they work really closely with lots of Western brands. For example, Ceramic Speed, who make the bearings in these hubs. This particular wheel set is their flagship offering, the new 2025 Evo S. They're 50mm deep, they've got carbon spokes, and they weigh 1,190 grams, which is particularly impressive considering that they use hooked rims. And that brings me on to 5 things that I really like about the Evo5 wheels. They are really light. We weighed them at 1,205 grams on the road.cc scales of truth. Now, for reference, the Roval Rapide Team Edition wheels, the limited edition ones, they weigh in at 1,360 grams, albeit the rear one is a little bit deeper. In fact, there's very few hooked 50mm wheels that can even come close to this kind of weight. The Cadex 50 Ultras, they're a fair bit more, they're 1,415 grams. The Hunt Sub 50s, 1,430 grams on our scales. And even the very impressively light Scribe Elan SL 50s, they were 1,348 grams on our scales. So, seriously light. The next thing I like is the solid rim bed, which you can't see, but we'll put a picture up. And that means that you don't have to run any rim tape. Now that's good because A, it means you don't have to add any unnecessary weight. I know rim tape's not that heavy, but still a bit of weight. And B, you don't have to tape your wheels, which is something that I just hate doing. Arguably the best thing about these Farsports wheels is that if you want a different depth, you can get it. Now I went for the 5S version, which are 50mm deep front and rear, but there's also a shallower 30mm option, which is even lighter, 1,090 grams, good for days in the mountains, or a 58mm version. Now that S6 is more aero. Better still, you can mix and match. For example, you could have gone for a 58mm wheel at the back and a 50mm wheel at the front. I like that. What else do I like? There is a lot to like. I like the logos. I really like these hubs. They just look amazing in this gunmetal colour. And actually, these wheels have got more attention than just about every other wheel set I've used. And that is super cool from a wheel set that is half the price of many wheels boasting similar specs. They've also been really reliable, and I really rate the bearing choices. So these ones have the Ceramic Speed bearings in, but the ones to probably go for are the ones with the Enduro bearings. Now that's the same brand of bearings that mountain bikers love them, but it's also the ones that Hunt have just switched their latest aerodynamicist wheels to. There are a lot of other things I like about these wheels, but my final thing for this list has got to be the fact that these carbon spokes are replaceable. Now, not long ago, I used a set of Syncross one-piece carbon wheels that were very cool, but obscenely expensive and a complete write-off if a spoke got broken in a crash. With these, you can purchase replacement spokes. They come in a pack of 4, and they're trued using these external nipples. They come in a pack of 4 because there's actually 4 different spoke lengths. on this per set of wheels. So the wheels are very good, but there are a few things that I think could be better. I do think I'm going to struggle to get to 5 though. Firstly, and this is quite pernickety, this sticker here, I just don't think it really sits with the rest of the premium finish, and peeling stickers should be reserved for wheels under 300 quid, or better yet, not at all. Secondly, and it's not really a problem that is exclusive to Farsports, carbon spokes just do seem to feel harsher. Using the same tyres and same pressures as the steel spokes on the light bicycle rims, these are undoubtedly a firmer, less absorbing ride when it comes to bumpy British roads. Now, that occurs for all the carbon spokes I've tested, apart from maybe those Syncross wheels. But Farsports do make, not the S version, but they make other versions with steel spokes. So maybe check those out if you want to rattle around British roads all the time. Now, next thing, I think it's also the carbon spokes that are responsible for the slightly lower stability of these wheels in crosswinds compared to the wheels that are kind of the best in their class. Now, don't get me wrong, these are not unstable wheels, but put them up against those Rovals, which are probably the best in the business when it comes to crosswinds, and you can notice a bit more steering moment. Now, that's probably not too surprising given the fact that these spokes are 5mm deep, so they're super bladed. That's clearly for aero, but a wind against them and they do catch it more than those Rovals. Is there anything else? Well, like most Chinese wheel sets, they will take a few weeks to arrive. And one other thing, they don't come with proper wheel bags. They come with sort of, well, I'll take a video of them. You do get proper premium wheel bags with a lot of the Western wheel options. So what did they ride like, and were they good enough for me to choose to ride them at Mallorca 312 over my trusty Rovals? Well, we've talked about wheel weight quite a lot, but it might surprise you that I don't actually think that wheel weight is the be all and end all. You see, I think that lateral stiffness and aerodynamics make a far bigger difference to performance on UK roads where there's no mountains. That said, the Farsport wheels are light everywhere that you want a wheel set to be light. So the rims are super lightweight. The carbon spokes, that's to keep the weight down. And we could get into complicated things like inertia, but the main difference is that a light wheel set with low rotational weight just feels really good. The easiest way for me to describe that is when you accelerate, some bikes and wheels just feel sluggish, whereas these, they've got some real get up and go, and as tested by yours truly on every signpost sprint over the last few weeks. My riding buddies probably hate me. As for aerodynamics, well, we don't have a wind tunnel still, and to be honest, the difference between most 50mm deep wheels is minimal. What I can say is that they hold their speed really well everywhere. 50mm is still a great depth option for a wheel set that can do it all, whether that's your high-speed chain gang, local hilly loop, criterium race, whatever. 50mm is just, you can use it for anything. I also have to say that they're just well thought out. The rim widths are nice and modern. That pairs really nicely with these 28mm tyres. You could put a 30 on there and it wouldn't be a balloon. And you can't see aero, but it's hard to imagine that spokes this deep and bladed won't be aero. All of that just has a positive effect on the speed of the wheels. Now, earlier I mentioned about crosswind stability, and to be honest, this is probably the only area that this wheel set falls short of being class leading. It must be these fat spokes. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not like carbon deeps of old, and I'd still happily use these in all conditions, but it is an area where they're just a little bit behind the Roval Rapides or the Hunt sub 50s, the super wide front wheels that I've been using recently. Now, it's obviously really hard to explain steering moments, but I'd say that the stability of these wheels are on a par with something like the Zipp 454 NSWs or the Cadex Ultra 50. So they're well up there, but they're not the best in the business. What it wasn't was bad enough to put me off taking them to ride for Mallorca 312. And so for the first time in nearly 4 years, I did a road event on an alternative wheel set to my Roval Rapides. And that is just about the highest praise that I can give a wheel set. On a side note, I also used a set of Farsports F1X handlebars, which the full review of those and of the wheels will be up on the road.cc website soon. I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that is to talk about price. The latest Roval CLX team wheels have an RRP of £3,000, and that's if you can get your hands on them. The Cadex Ultra 50s, £2,650. The Hunt Sub 50s with the carbon spokes and ceramic bearings, a brand synonymous with value for money, £2,289. These, well, we got ours through Panda Podium, a trusted site for buying bike stuff from the Far East. And they're listed on there for $1,699 US. That works out, with current exchange rates, at just under £1,300. Honestly, put a different logo on the side and I think they'd sell plenty for twice that price. Let me know what you think of these wheels down in the comment section below, as well as whether you'd have joined me in using these for Mallorca 312, or whether you'd have stuck with the Rovals. As always, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for lots more of the latest bike stuff, and we'll see you next time.